Welcome to the Evening Review. My name is Okwane, and joining us in studio is Benedick Louw, who is the AR envoy on the Land Indigenisation Bill. Before we go into that interview, a look at the headlines. And now a look at the headlines. VP Bumba breaks silence on resignation talks. Vice President Nangolo Mbumba has told Namibian Sun that he has no intention to resign after rumors have started to come out that he intended to resign to make place for current Prime Minister Sarah Madila ahead of the SWAPO Congress. Men's tongue cut off for $100. A man's tongue was cut off the tip of his tongue was cut off in Katima Mulilo after a group of men had robbed him. It is alleged that the man was kicked and he fell down, and then this led to the robbers cutting off the tip of his tongue and making off with $100 after they had managed to overpower him in the northeastern town. More rain to come until late autumn. The Namibia Weather Service says that the country is expected to receive more rain into the first week of March and possibly also up until April as a consequence of the La Nina phenomena. And there were your headlines. Enjoy the interview. Welcome back to the Evening Review. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, Okhone. How are you?
Good, good. The Land Indigenisation Bill, where is it currently standing?
Well, I've received communication from the secretary to the cabinet, that is the Ms. Nakuta, which informed me late last year that it's now on its way to be discussed on a parliamentary level. It's going to be introduced, it's going to be tabled soon within the first part of this semester, since they have been quite occupied last year with other constitutional matters which deserve some attention. But we've been confidently informed that it is well on its way to be entertained, and we can only hope that that happens soon, because the masses out there quite clearly, they are waiting. They've been asking some questions. What happened to this bill? People want to have their dignity restored, and the only way we can do it is through the Land Indigenisation Bill.
As an envoy to this bill, are you satisfied with regards to it being sensitized to members of the public, to give them an overall understanding of what it is?
Yes, we in the Affirmative Repositioning movement, apart from the fact that Parliament is charged with the duty to go on, if you like, a sensitization tour regarding this bill, out to do consultations with the relevant, whether it's traditional authorities, whether it's local authorities, whether it's civic society, whether it is church. They will finally have to go out to do that. But we, on our own part, we are already sensitizing the broader masses of our people in that we, from time to time, we have what we call the affirmative repositioning dialogues, where we, in essence, educate, not only inform, but also educate what the Land Indigenisation Bill entails. And that, Okhane, is in a nutshell, it is fundamentally to change the conditions of black people in the majority. Because if we have to look at poverty today, you will see that it has a black face. So yes, we are quite advanced in that regard as it relates to the affirmative repositioning movement. But we hope that with the efforts also of the constitutional efforts which Parliament is obligated to execute, that we will reach a far broader mass than we currently have.
And then just to elaborate again, What does the bill seek to what does it seek to achieve?
Well, for starters, you will remember that in 2018, there was a mass protest led by the Affirmative Repositioning movement when it appeared, as it is the case now, that post-1990, the issue of land redistribution has not been dealt with decisively, in which you get foreigners at the expense. And when I say foreigners, I don't mean our fellow African brothers. I mean foreigners in the context of Chinese, foreigners in the context of Russian billionaires, oligarchs, including the Mexican billionaire who just comes here and chop off land for capitalistic ends, and that is to maximize profit. So we decided in 2018 that we had enough, and we received a mandate from the ground to go to the streets. That's why we went and we submitted it. And then, of course, 2019, we then formulated a very comprehensive document which we gave to them, which we submitted to Parliament for enactment. And what it seeks to do is, in essence, it seeks to restore the dignity of black people through the return of the land. You will know right now, Juane, that you have three manners or ways in which land is being allocated in this country. One is through the communal tenure, two is through commercial, and three is through urban. Now, what we are saying is that those who have acquired land, urban land, prior to this act, prior to this bill being enacted, they will remain with the urban land. But with regard to commercial land and communal land, what we are saying is it has to be expropriated, and it has to be done without any compensation. So this is what this bill seeks to do. And in the final analysis, what we are saying is that if you are coming in, it's your intention to come and invest in Namibia, but you need a piece of land. What we are saying is that it must be based on a 51-49% basis, wherein the person, in this case the foreigner, let's say it's a Chinese, comes here to invest, then that Chinese will have a minority shareholding in this land, 51% majority of which must go to black people in particular. So that we are, at the end of the day, we ensure that we not only deal decisively with this historical injustice, but that we ensure also that with regard to socio-economic impact it will have, most definitely on the black community, that it will assist a lot. So we with all intent and purposes, we are going to see this thing through, and I'm glad and happy that right now it will come to fruition.
Before we continue with the next round of questions, quickly like to go for a short commercial break. Do stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the Evening Review. As the AR movement, in light of you bringing this bill now, or being a proponent of this bill, have you faced any resistance because of the movement that you represent?
Surely there's been some resistance coming from the regime. We've been expecting this. Land is not something that no one wants to talk about. It's always a sensitive topic to some, but we just thought that we're not going to tiptoe around this fundamental aspect which have been neglected in 1990, 21st March. So there has been a cohort of legal eagles going around trying to consolidate forces in challenging this through litigation. But as always, we with superior logic and providing qualitative guidance since 2014 with the establishment of the Affirmative Repositioning movement, we are sure that even those ones, they will come and see buy-in into what we are doing, because even those lawyers, if you go and ask them, all those black lawyers, all that they have is just an ID and then a huge amount of debt. So they are suffering the same things we are suffering. They are in the same pain that we are suffering. So we are quite clear that we are charging ahead, and Okwane, we are not moved by any intimidation tactics, because when we've submitted ourselves in this struggle, we said that, you know, it can come at the ultimate price. And so if lawyers are here running around trying to make sure that the poor, the black person in particular, the black community in particular, the dignity is not restored, then you must regard yourself as an accomplice of those who are against the restoration of the dignity of the black child. And we are going to come after you. We are going to come after you because there's this tendency in Namibia. You have a cohort, what we call a clever black. You know, some of us who went to university, now we've read a few books, and now at the end of the day, we feel that no, we command, our thoughts supersedes those of the ordinary working class, and that is not, that should not be the case. We should be able to link our education with the practical needs and aspirations of our people. So we are sure that we are going to see this through, and by hook or crook.
And then lastly, in brief, you've now had experience serving on the City of Windhoek Council. How has that helped with in pushing the bill with that council experience?
With that council experience, well, you must remember that it's not the first time that affirmative repositioning has served on local authority. We've done it in Walvis Bay and some other constituents, I think even in Swakopmund. But the point which I'm trying to drive here is that the position of us being on the City of Windhoek Council, at the end of the day, it just amplified the mission and the purpose of the affirmative repositioning, because it showed the masses out there that when it comes to administrative, when it comes to technocratic issues, we are able to also play our part there. It's not only something that's based on ideological and political basis, but things that we are sure that with the experience which some of us have gained in other facets of life, in our professionalism, we can then contribute in this construction of local authorities and in the bigger scheme of things at the national level. So it helped us a lot, it assisted us a lot, it pushed us. There were some challenges here and there. There were some parties that would always try to give another narrative of what the AR stood for, with the gimmicks, the political gymnastics which took place, which US media are well aware of. But we've triumphed. We've come out of that, and now our focus is on the other sides of struggle. You must remember that the affirmative repositioning, the focus is on 4 sides of struggle. First of all, it's protest.
Very briefly, because we have to wrap up.
Protest action. Second of all, it's through courts processes. Third is through diplomatic action. Fourth is through public engagement. So we are going to focus our efforts on these other sides of struggle to make sure that the restoration of the black child is going to be restored.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for tuning in. Good night.